Welcome to Epilogue Podcast, the show where we discuss some stuff that happened on a different show ages ago which nobody really cares about anymore.
Hi, I'm Portponky.
And I'm LeBloc.
Today we're discussing Deep Space Nine, Season 1, Episode 16, If Wishes Were Horses. In this episode, various figments of people's imagination come to life and cause a lot of problems for the Deep Space Nine crew, and then go away. But pretty much.
Yeah. What did you think?
Well, I remembered this one as being quite bad, but on watching it again, I had fun, I guess. What did you think?
I didn't have fun. I thought this was dumb.
Yeah, that's the reason why I was slightly dreading this episode.
Yeah, that's understandable.
It's just sort of... It's kind of a good idea, maybe, but it's just done in a really silly way that doesn't come off as comedic.
No.
Or farcical, but just stupid.
Yes. I agree that it's a wasted premise. And they even point out within this episode how it could be potentially terrifying when there are manifestations of your imagined thoughts, but then they completely waste it.
The part towards the end with the Oculus Rift destroying the station, it's not an Oculus Rift, it's a Rift, was kind of exciting. It's always good to have everyone on edge. But, yeah, like you said, they simply happied it away. So what can we praise about this episode?
I liked the quick scene between Dax and Bashir where she says, "We've invaded your privacy." And it made me think of the horrifying idea of someone going through your Google search history and seeing what you will admit to Google but no one else.
Yeah, Dax shows a sort of emotional maturity which is appropriate for someone 300 years old.
Yes.
Which is actually good. That fleshes out her character.
Yeah, and she feels bad for Bashir. She says, "I was a young man once," and she doesn't just write him off when his manifestation could just be looked at as, "Oh, you're a gross young man and you have gross thoughts," but she actually empathizes.
Yeah, you have gross thoughts. You're a regular young man.
Yeah.
Which is fairly reasonable. So let's talk about Bashir then, because he's been okay for the last few episodes, but this was really a trial by fire of his slightly rewritten character.
So when he first encounters fake Dax, he recognizes the abnormality of the situation, despite how favorable it is when fake Dax is coming onto him.
He doesn't just treat the situation like a meat circus.
Yeah, and I really...
You agreed to meat circus? Okay, continue.
Yeah, I was just going to go right past that one. So this meat circus comes to town, and he questions it. He doesn't just accept it readily, which was nice.
Yeah, he questions everything about it. At the start, he was also having a dinner, I think he said, with Dax, and was being kind of a bit lecherous, but quite upfront, not in a passive, "Hey, let me follow you around all day" way, and more in a kind of, "I really like you."
Yeah, he's putting himself out there.
It's still bad in a jerky way, but I don't know. It's just a slightly different angle.
Yeah, maybe I'm suffering from the halo effect and how well he's been handled in the past few episodes. And I think that good favor is carried into this one. So his antics didn't really bug me this time around.
Yeah, if this episode had been placed earlier on in this series, when he was still in his sort of man pervert stage, it would have felt a lot worse.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I also think it would have been written differently. I think he would have just taken to fake Dax immediately.
Ugh. I was going to say, I think the star date for this episode does actually set it earlier in the series. That's a trivia.
Was that intentional?
No, they pretty much just pick a number for the star date and sort of increment it, but the episodes get mixed up into the final order, and they don't care that much.
Another good thing about this episode is that Keiko is in it, so we can complain about her.
But can we? She was pretty reasonable.
Yeah, she didn't say much. One of her lines made me laugh, though, when she's flirting. She has flirtatious words with O'Brien, and she suggests that he tucks her in and then says, as long as you're tucked in with me. So it gave me the impression that O'Brien would just tuck her in and then leave. That was a really funny image to have in my mind.
But
so she wants him in the bed.
Yes.
As if he would do anything else, as if he would just tuck her in and then leave.
Yeah, I guess it's flirty talk, so...
Yeah, I guess flirty talk doesn't have to adhere to...
assumption that she was taking his offer literally. She just said, yeah, then the concert, but there, shut your eyes. Here's the bed sheets. I'm going to go watch television.
Yeah, I have to do stuff on the station. Bye.
O'Brien wasn't very... he seemed a little sort of annoyed, but he wasn't very surprised and or shocked when there was a sort of old man in his child's room.
He's seen too much.
Yeah, he has.
As soon as that Rumpelstiltskin man appeared, I had this terrible gut feeling that this episode would not be able to explain this in a satisfying way, and I was sad to find out that was true.
Yeah, they came through the wormhole, and now they're amazed by the imagination of creatures on the other side of the wormhole. Does this mean no one in the Gamma Quadrant has imagination?
Correct.
Because they've met some guys from there, and they seemed fairly normal. Like, they seemed imaginative, I guess, in the way any normal alien is depicted on this show. So that didn't make a lick of sense. I guess we've gone into tearing it apart then.
Yeah. What? I'm sure you have criticisms.
I didn't really write anything specific down because I would have spent the whole time just writing. I think the most annoying thing was that it doesn't seem credible in any way that baseball would not be popular by 2045.
Oh, that's the date that it stops?
Yeah. It said
that's strange.
Final World Series was 2045 or thereabouts. There was only 300 people in the stands. Who? Why? What? No. That wouldn't happen.
Maybe there's a shortage of baseballs and that causes baseball to dwindle in attendance numbers.
What? But that wouldn't make the sport less popular. That would just make baseballs more expensive.
Well, they would reuse the baseballs, and then they're unreliable, so then the pitching becomes worse, and then the batters can't hit the balls as well. And then performance goes to... I don't know.
I appreciate that you're trying to patch up this glaring... I would call it a plot hole, I guess. I don't know if it's really a hole. But there's no way that baseball will be unpopular by 2045. I also wrote down... Where is Odo moving all these emus to all the time?
Away.
He's just constantly moving them.
He's ejecting them.
Out of the airlock.
Yeah, he's shooting them into the airlock and then ejecting them.
It turns around, there's more emus.
He's an unfeeling shapeshifter.
Also, they were quite obviously emus, despite the fact they said they were some sort of alien creature.
Yeah, that was weird.
Well, it could be just an alien creature that happens to look a lot like an emu. Some might say identical.
I guess that's fair. They could have added some sort of prop, or that would look ridiculous. Just call it an emu.
So, what else is there to talk about? Quite a lot happened, but it was not really good.
O'Brien is an excellent bedtime storyteller.
Oh, his Rumpelstiltskin voice was really good.
Yeah, I was into that.
It was better than the voice of the actor portraying Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, it was. Every time he was on screen, I just stared at his nose.
Yeah, I was about to say I assume it's prosthetic. Yes, it was obviously a prosthetic nose. Oh no, but what if it wasn't?
Then we're horrible people. That thing is really out there, and it's going to grab your attention.
What if they didn't put any makeup on that guy?
He's just Rumpelstiltskin.
They turned up to casting and they went, right, you're perfect.
That's
we can
the guy.
tell already, yep, you've got this down.
Send away the others. I had a hard time believing that guy was one of the best baseball players of all time. Just looking at him.
Why?
He didn't look muscular or athletic.
Well,
He looked like just a dude.
Baseball players sometimes don't look that muscular. I'm not saying they're not muscular, they are, but they don't necessarily have like crazy ripped muscles.
Maybe that's why baseball lost favor. It was just a bunch of regular guys playing ball.
No, it
and
wouldn't
people got
matter.
bored.
It wouldn't matter if it was just horses playing it. It will still be popular. Gira's imagination is scary.
Yeah, just about the only one.
Yeah, that 5-second scene was the only one that kind of had much tension to it.
Yeah, the premise had the potential to make them feel as if they're going out of their minds with moments like that, but instead they went the, I guess, comical route with Rumpelstiltskin. O'Brien has obviously seen some stuff, and then that's what preoccupies him, this little character from a story that he reads his daughter.
It doesn't make sense, because when they thought happy thoughts about other stuff, it disappeared, but Rumpelstiltskin wouldn't leave. So was he really preoccupied? I don't even care. I can't be bothered analysing how it works, because it's just... I read on the trivia page, to completely change direction, the original script had a leprechaun, and Colm Meaney phoned up the head writers and said he's not doing an episode with a leprechaun because it's borderline racist. Which I think is fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's also strange that Dax was the only one that caused a dangerous thing to happen. Everyone else's imagination just caused trivial shit to happen.
Yeah, and then she's the only catastrophic one.
Yeah.
Don't they all have deep fears?
You would think so. It's
maybe because she's lived for so long, she has all of these fears piled up, and so they're more potent in her mind.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I would continue this discussion. This episode was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Oh, do you have
I'm
a
trying
quote?
to justify the bad decisions. I do have a quote.
Good, let's get on to that.
All right. This is from Odo. Too many people dream of places they'll never go, wish for things they'll never have, instead of paying adequate attention to their real lives.
That could be stated in a much more succinct manner.
Yeah, it's a little verbose. And
A little?
a lot
It's like
verbose.
4 sentences. But the sentiment is nice, I guess. Have you noticed this was an episode with sort of godlike aliens, and it was bad, and the previous episode with godlike aliens was Q-less, which was also bad.
Yeah.
There's a quote from Farscape, which is a totally different show, but I was thinking of it when I was watching this episode, which goes, godlike aliens, why is it always godlike aliens? I'd take a critter over a godlike alien any day.
Godlike aliens present a problem because they're godlike, they could do anything, but then they won't. And then you're sitting there thinking, well, why wouldn't they do this? But they can't do that because they would just wipe everyone out and the show would end.
Yeah, the plot gets super constipated as soon as they turn up.
Yeah, they can't come up with adequate restrictions for why they wouldn't do what a godlike alien would obviously do.
Pretty much, it's not a very good... I don't feel it's a very good plot direction. It can be done well. I've read some very good sci-fi short stories which have explored this sort of thing, but on screen, I don't think it works.
Let's hope they learn their lesson in season 1 from 2 godlike alien episodes and never repeat the mistake, but somehow I really doubt that's what happened.
Well, those aliens said they'd be back next year, bracket season.
Ah, yeah. When I heard that line, I groaned.
I guess you just have to rely on the sensibilities of the people making the show.
This is the second promise we've had of a return, which is kind of weird.
What was the first one?
What's her name? The woman that Kira cried over.
Kai Opaka?
Yes. She said, "You'll see me again."
The woman Kira cried over.
Yes, that's
the religious leader of the Bajorans.
I believe that's the description they put on her trading card.
It's like, who's that guy with the funny hat? Oh, yes, the Pope.
I was going to say Abraham Lincoln, but that makes more sense.
There's nothing funny about Abraham Lincoln's hats.
Abraham Lincoln's hats. His stovepipe hat is kind of funny.
Not in the context it's portrayed.
You never see any other people with stovepipe hats in depictions of Lincoln. It's just him and his gangly frame and his beard and his mole and his stovepipe hat.
Yeah, he wore it because he wanted to be 20 feet tall. I've exaggerated, but I think I've read that the reason he wore a hat was because it made him extremely imposing because of his he was quite tall, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was 6'2". Why are we talking about the height of Lincoln?
It is more interesting than this episode. Okay, anyway, do we have anything else to say about this?
I hope the next episode's better.
Me too.
You don't sound confident.
I sound defeated.
That was very defeated, me too.
It gets better, but I can't promise that the next episode will be better, although I don't specifically remember it being bad. Oh, no, wait. It's all coming back to me.
Oh, no. A flood of bad memories.
Maybe. Well, let's call this quits.
Yes, let's.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hey there, me again. I'm just popping in with another extremely important and vital correction to this discussion. It was stated that the height of Abraham Lincoln was 6'2". He was actually 6'3 3/4". Thanks, and have a good day.